Hello and welcome back. This will probably be one of the last two videos I'm going to make on Medicine Woman 6. I will make other videos because they seem to be quite popular for other albums, but for this album, I'm kind of wrapping things up now. And one of the things I have not talked about is arranging and mastering, but we'll talk about arranging in this particular video. Arranging, apart from the actual writing, is perhaps, no, I won't say perhaps, I would say that it is the most important part of the whole process. I'll explain why. I'm very, very envious of pop groups, rock groups, because they can lean on the vocal, the words. If you think of a song, it's a verse, it's a chorus, it's a change. Now, where songsmiths can really get away with things is they will sing the song once, the verse, once, words. Verse 2, oh, surprise, more words. 3, it's words again. Shocker. Do you know what I mean? They will just simply repeat. And they get away with the repeating because you're hearing different words. Sure, they might change the backing a little bit of the song, but that's it. It's short, simple, and you're getting the whole of your message and the whole of your emotion across in the words. And you get away with repetition. Now, if you're instrumental, you can't do that. There are no words. So how do I get across to you the emotion of it? And how do I not bore you to death with repetition? I mean, if I was to pick up, I won't pick up a piano, it's too bloody heavy. But if I was to play piano all the way through 3 verses, that's going to sound pretty stale. It's going to sound pretty repetitive, very fast. So I've got to come up with ways and methods in the arranging to keep the music moving and keep the keep the repetition down and to get the emotion across. So that is why instrumental is hell, to keep it moving and inventive. You really, really, really do have to be so much more inventive. If I was a songwriter or if I was Sting or somebody, or Paul Simon or anyone like that, God, that was so easy. The relief and the lack of pressure, I would just write a song, bang, it's done. It would be so much quicker in the studio. But to keep on doing instrumental music is really quite difficult. You've got to find, what can I put next that works, fits, get the emotion across, gives the same melodic line without it sounding really, really repetitive. Sometimes you don't manage it. Sometimes it can be repetitive. Sometimes it's hypnotic and it's deliberate. But it is a much more, it's a harder process and a more inventive process. It's instrumental music because you're not listening to the words. There are no words, so you're totally reliant upon the arranging and the melody lines and coming up with whatever you can. So let's have a look at that. What I'm going to do is play you a finished track, the end track of Medicine Woman 6, which is called I Am Light. And I'm going to deconstruct it so that you see each verse unfold and you see all the layers, so that you can see how I have gone about arranging a piece like that. So you can see how I've avoided being too repetitive, how I've kept you engaged, and how I've boosted the sheer emotion of it by approaching things the way I do. So let's have a look at that. And the only way to do that, of course, is to look at the screen. We won't be able to see anything. So I'm going to switch to the monitor view. So follow me there. Hi, welcome back. Welcome to the arrange screen. All the tracks, different instruments are down the left-hand side there in a column. What I wanted to do with this particular piece of music is I wanted it to be an emotional arc, so that it would start very simply and educate you into a sense of floating and something ethereal is going on, and then really build it up to something more dramatic. So just start simply with the drums and that Piano Rhodes keyboard. Just let you get used to the pattern, and then introduce that melody. Then I introduce the first chorus, which is just chords, very ethereal, very simple, which is all very deliberate because I'm going to build up on this. And those chords that I've written are melodic in their own right. They become a second melody without you realizing it. Okay, let's just stop there. Okay, so time for the second verse. How do I keep it interesting? You will remember the original keyboards played like this. So I need to make that interesting by adding this. That's the idea I came up with. Let's play some kind of arpeggio riff over the top. So slightly different speed, slightly rainforest jungle. Thicken it out. 3 instruments playing together. Put that over the top with the original keyboards and you get this. Two very different ways of playing, interweaving to create a unified feel. The marimba solo's now swapped to a panpipe. So now the whole thing's bouncing along quite happily. And then the second chorus. Now introducing that panpipe melody over the top of the ethereal chords. So the whole thing is layering up. Each time it comes round in a cycle, I'm introducing a new element or a new idea, and it's a bit like I am introducing you to a secret I have. I know where the journey's going, but you don't. And I'm introducing a kind of a story element leading you down the path. Here's another part of the puzzle, here's another part of the story. And that's what these layers do. Okay, so you've heard the verse twice already, and the third verse is coming up, which is a big problem for me. How do I keep that third time round interesting and creative? And just to refresh your ears, there's the verse for the third time. And what I wanted to do here was, you'd expect me to go back to that arpeggio, but instead I thought, I want to keep you guessing. I'll throw you a curveball. And I introduced that. And the idea behind that is to amp up the energy. It's now pushing, driving forwards. It's getting more dramatic. I then added this ethereal cosmic layer, like stardust, to make it more cosmic. And you put the whole thing together, and suddenly there's this feeling as if we're going somewhere. So having built up the layers from something much simpler, what I want to do now, it's rolling, it's more rhythmical, it's more dramatic, and it's trying to express a power and energy. So I let the panpipes improvise. And then into another chorus. For the third time. It would be much more dramatic because of that new arpeggio going on. And here it goes. It's now flowing over you like waves, which is all very deliberate. That was part of the secret, part of the story of where I knew where I was taking it. Something else I do to generate a lift of emotion and to change the emotion is to change the key of the actual composition and the recording. And this track is a great example. Listen to how the key changes on this chorus. And the key change is coming up. Listen to how the emotion changes by bringing in this key change here. And change again. And again. quite classical in structure, really, particularly those key changes. And I hope that gave you some insight into how important arranging something can be, from something so simple to something so emotional, with that huge arc of progression.